Live from Mount Pleasant's own, this is News Central 34 at 5.
Good evening and welcome to News Central 34. I'm Deanna Falzone.
And I'm Chelsea Humphrey. Radical religious pastor Terry Jones is in Dearborn today, ready to protest at the Islamic Center of America. Jones may be arrested as he is not cooperating with police or city permits. Jones and Dearborn police are still in court as we speak, and the jury is still deliberating. Jones refused to comply with police who are requiring him to pay a peace bond in order to pay for the police force required to monitor his protest. Jones made headlines back in March when he set fire to the Quran at his Gainesville, Florida church. Jones says that the Quran promotes terrorist activities around the world and encourages violence from within the faith. We spoke with CMU religion professor and Muslim Talat Hallman, who says Jones' claims are not true.
The Quran stipulates very precisely that Jews and Christians are people of the book and that their religions are to be respected and their religious communities are to be protected. Muslims are very tolerant, inclusive, and peaceful people.
Jones claims that his following are not criminals and that they will simply want to practice their First Amendment rights.
Every day, police officers put their lives in danger, protecting their community with the fear of the unexpected hanging over them. And recently, this fear became a reality for the Kalamazoo Police Department.
That's right, Deanna. Late Monday night, Public Safety Officer Eric Zapata responded to a call reporting that shots had been fired at a home in Kalamazoo. Police say Leonard Statler approached Officer Zapata with a handgun, and the two began to fire shots at each other.
Investigators say Statler shot Zapata in the chest and head and then proceeded to shoot himself. Zapata was pronounced dead on his way to the hospital, leaving behind a wife and 3 children. News Central 34 had the chance to talk to local law enforcement and found out that this tragedy hits close to home, even though it happened miles away.
Eric was a good man, and he will be greatly missed by everyone, especially his friends and family.
But it's not just those who personally knew Kalamazoo officer Eric Zapata that will mourn his loss. Over 130 miles northeast, a group of his own are feeling the effects too.
When they say that there's a brotherhood in law enforcement, there really is, because there's only a certain segment of the society that really faces the same threats every day. And when we lose one of our own, it is like family.
These losses seem to only be increasing. As Sheriff Matichewski explains, nationwide in 2010, 162 officers were killed, and only 1/3 of the way through this year, 60 officers have lost their lives in the line of duty, 3 of which were in Michigan.
Society, unfortunately, is changing. For whatever reason, police officers are becoming more targets than what we have been in the past. I can't explain why. But like I say, the pace that we're going right now here in 2011 is very, very scary.
After speaking with local law enforcement, it became clear that no matter how big or small the community, the uncertainty in this day-to-day job remains the same.
Even though that we live in Mount Pleasant, there are some really weird or bizarre things that happen from time to time. And in our job, we never know sometimes who we're dealing with, from a simple traffic stop to going to some sort of complaint at somebody's house. It could happen to any one of us at any given time.
But we, have been fortunate that we haven't had any line of duty deaths. It's still always first and foremost in our mind.
But another thing they keep in mind is the reason why they never give up.
We're providing services that in the long run are helping people. And we have to keep that in the forefront, because it would be easy to give up and say, I'm done. I'm going to go find something much safer where I don't have to worry about not coming home tonight.
Sheriff Matichewski also added that he and other officials plan to travel to Kalamazoo on Tuesday to show their support for their fallen brother. And it may be Good Friday, but it's anything but good for 7 churches in Mount Pleasant. Since April 3rd, there have been 7 break-ins at churches in the area. Thieves are entering in the middle of the night and stealing small amounts of cash and office equipment. Besides cash, computers are the most frequent item stolen. Police believe the robberies are related, but none of the churches have surveillance equipment. Detectives from both the city and county are working together to solve the crimes. If you have any information, please contact police.
Michigan universities may soon be seeing cuts of up to $213 million. Yesterday, the State Appropriations Subcommittee approved higher education funding cuts. The budget is now moving to the Senate floor and, if passed, would reduce 15% of university operational fundings. Governor Snyder supports these cuts. The subcommittee also approved an amendment that would require Michigan universities to report stem cell research to the state. Republicans say taxpayers have a right to know how their money is being used, but Democrats say this could discourage research. And a 7th case is being brought against a suspected serial rapist accused of targeting women on Detroit's east side earlier this year. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office has charged Renard Coleman with rape, kidnapping, and armed robbery in connection with an attack on a 19-year-old woman. Investigators say Coleman sexually assaulted the woman in the back of a house. Other victims were between 17 and 33 years of age. Coleman is scheduled to be in court on the previous charges on Monday, and he faces multiple life sentences if convicted.
An Ashley school bus driver passed away at Sparrow Hospital in Lansing early this morning after suffering a cardiac arrest yesterday. Jacqueline Tribble was driving with one passenger when she suffered the cardiac arrest and veered off the road and ran into a ditch. When the student on board called for help, personnel were able to revive Tribble and transport her to Carson City Hospital. An autopsy is still to be conducted. And we all know that warmer weather brings orange construction cones in Michigan, and Gratiot County will be no stranger to this construction this summer. 133 wind turbines will be built in the Breckenridge area, and the sewage system in the village will also be receiving an upgrade. Although work has already begun and a gravel base has been prepared, construction workers are waiting for the spring weather to officially kick in. That's all we have for you tonight for News Central 34. I'm Deanna Falzone.
And I'm Chelsea Humphrey. Have a great weekend.